Hello, everybody. We welcome you to this edition of News You Can Use. I am your host, Thera Martin Milling. Glad to be back with you once again here at LaSalle TV. They make it happen. Today on our program, as we continue to observe African American history, and we are still in the midst of African American History Month, we're going to shine the spotlight on fraternities and sororities that come from the African American community. And there's an organization called the Pan-Hellenic Council. We're going to learn all about that group and what it is that they do. So we will be talking with the president and the vice president of the Pan-Hellenic Council of Southeastern Pennsylvania in just a moment. Stay along with us. We've got a great show lined up just for you. All right, everybody, here we go. You are now in tune with News You Can Use here at LaSalle TV. I am your host, Thera Martin Milling. Glad to be with you once again, and so glad that you're choosing to check us out on Comcast Channel 56 or on Verizon Fios Channel 36. Let's get started with our show today, and I want to say welcome to Crystal Allen, Madam President, and to our Vice President, Chimdi Banu.
Correct.
Did I say it correctly?
Yes, you did.
Fantastic. Vice President, the Pan-Hellenic Council of Southeastern Pennsylvania. You know, I had to learn how to say Pan-Hellenic. When that organization first came to me, like I didn't know about Pan-Hellenic Council at first. I'm an AKA. And when I first started learning about it, I was over 21, and I had to practice pronouncing it to get it out of the mouth somewhat smoothly. So before we talk about Pan-Hellenic Council of Southeastern Pennsylvania, I would like for each of you to recognize your sorority and fraternity and give us a little bit of history on them, and then we'll go into the other part.
Okay, so as you mentioned, my name is Crystal. I'm a member of the accomplished Alpha Eta Sigma chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. We are based here in Philadelphia. We are a part of a multitude of international chapters, both on the undergraduate and graduate level. We were founded on November 12th, 1922 at Butler University by 7 school teachers. So our premise of our work is service and education.
Yep. Sounds familiar to me, like Alpha, Gamma, Alpha, like Delta, Sigma, Theta, and like the rest of the sororities, the African American sororities that I'm aware of, which is all of them, we're all about service, rolling up our sleeves, reaching out, helping, and making sure that the education piece is tight.
Exactly. So it's all about giving back to our community, helping our kids grow, making sure they have positive, healthy, productive lives.
All right, love it, and so glad that you're here to represent, and the Madam President. Now, Mr. Vice President, tell us about your fraternity that you chose.
Well, I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, founded November 17th, 1911, on the beautiful campus of Howard University by Ernest E. Just, Edgar A. Love, Oscar Cooper, and Frank Coleman. Our cardinal principles are manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. Our motto is friendship is essential to the soul. Omega men have been prominent through all kinds of struggles through the years, the civil rights struggle, fight for education, things to try and uplift one of our cardinal principles, people from various conditions so that they can be their best selves. Also, my chapter, where I was made in 1999, Mu Omega chapter, was also host to our 79th National Grand Conclave in 2014 here in Philadelphia.
Ooh, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, too. And I would just simply add that I am very, very proud to be a part of Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which was founded in 1908 at the very same university where your fraternity was founded at Howard University. And I actually pledged at Marquette University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, when I got there as a sophomore in college. I looked around and I said, where are the AKAs? Where are the AKAs? And there was a couple of graduate AKAs on campus, but there wasn't a chapter college level chapter, and so we had to seek out the graduate chapter AKAs who were in Milwaukee at that time, and we pledged, and I became what it is that I chose to do, that pink and green, oh yeah. But at the end of the day, what I have learned, and I'm proud to say this, that I love all of my sorority sisters. I don't care what colors you wear. I love all of my fraternity brothers. I don't care what colors you wear, because we are all about the same thing. We want to see young people younger than us who are still dreaming of going to college to go. And we want to be able to tell them about it, tell them about the experiences, let them know that there is an opportunity for you. And even if you come from a so-called low-income family, you can still go to college. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't. You can. If you want to and you have a made-up mind, you can. And I always encourage young people who may not have a family background where people went to college in the family. Maybe everybody was a blue-collar worker or whatever. That if you need help, speak up, ask for help. Be that at school with your counselors who can show you some things. Call me. You can find me at the radio station. Reach out to the Pan-Hellenic Council and some of these other great organizations that are out here. There are people who are willing to walk you through the steps of what you got to do to go to college, and it's not nearly as hard as some people may think. Yeah. So I'm proud of all of that. And before we go into talking specifically about the Pan-Hellenic Council, I do want to go back just a moment to revisit that awesome national conference Omega Psi Phi had in Philadelphia, 2014. It was unbelievable.
Yes.
Everywhere I looked for 5 to 7 days, I saw nothing but purple and gold, purple and gold.
Yes,
so if I was down at City Hall taking care of some business as I'm leaving City Hall, I mean, just everywhere, all around the Marriott, just up and down the street, Market Street, just everywhere as far as your eye could see, it was purple and gold. And if you didn't know, you'd have thought I was hired as the official greeter for the city. I was like, hey, yo, welcome to Philly. Have a good time right here, and be safe, like I'm saying, and be safe too while you're here. But it was a wonderful experience, and I want to publicly thank Omega Psi Phi again for inviting me to be a part of the judges crew for the awesome step show that unfolded at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. And at that time, I actually was not on the air. I was getting ready to come back, didn't know it yet. But I had been sitting on ice for a few years in radio. And what I found is that often when you don't have that microphone in your hand, when you're not currently on the air, a lot of people forget about you and don't invite you to anything. But the Omegas did not do me like that. You all still lifted me up, invited me, and treated me like I was a VIP. And I wasn't even back on the radio yet. So thank you for the opportunity to be a judge, and it was hard because everybody was good, and I wanted everybody to be a winner. But it was a great conclave.
Yes, it was.
And you all did it up, so I know that you're still patting yourselves on your chest and on your shoulders for doing a job well done.
Well, and now the fraternity is getting ready for our 80th Grand Conclave in Las Vegas. So as soon as that was over, planning started for our 80th Grand Conclave. So it'll be held in Las Vegas this year.
The work never ends, right?
It never ends. Never ends.
Okay. So now, as we again celebrate African American History Month, and we're talking about the frats and the sororities, let's name them all. Can you all handle that part of the duty? Just name all of the
sororities, you do fraternities?
Right, sure.
Sounds good.
We have Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and of course Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
Okay.
And we have, of course, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, and Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay. Now, sometimes I'll hear the younger folks who are college level right now, and they'll say, I just pledged, and then they'll name some name that, like, it's a social club or something, and they'll say, but they pledged. And I'm like, oh, if you wasn't one of the ones they just named, I don't know what kind of pledging that was. Do you know are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
I'm familiar with what you're talking about. It's separate from the National Pan-Hellenic Council. There are those social fellowships. I don't know too much about them, but we did have them. I went to Penn State, so we had them on our campus as well. But they do have their own process that they go under.
Okay. All right, so now let's talk about this Pan-Hellenic Council. Why is it important, and what do you all do under that body?
As you mentioned several times, we all pretty much we're focused on service, education, community, uplift, things of that nature. So back in May 10th of 1930, a few of the organizations who were already founded at Howard decided, let's come together and really work for the greater good. So In 1937, they were incorporated. By 1997, we had all 9 organizations a part of it. And it's really for us to make a greater impact together for our community. On the national level, we support St. Jude's Research Hospital, so we're able to provide fundraising for them. We have a national leadership conference that helps our undergrads stay connected to our national leadership as well as our graduate members. We partner with United Negro College Fund, and we also participate in other Greek activities with the IFC and Pan-Hell, which are the predominantly Caucasian organizations, and the Multicultural Greek Council. So this gives us a larger platform to do our work for all 9 organizations.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that fraternities and sororities, as much as I sit here and we all, the 3 of us, we can talk about how great they are and the fact that we lift up and we do service projects and we're trying to be positive in the community and we're working with young people who are either in college already or wanting to go to college. But do you think we've gotten a bad rap? And when I say we, not just the African-American frats and sororities too. Let's just talk about all of them for half a second. I mean, some people have the wrong idea. They think that we just party.
I have to agree to you. There are people who don't know what we do. As again, I said, I went to Penn State, so that is known as a party school. And the Greeks on campus really got a bad rep. But I have to say, this past weekend, Penn State had their annual dance marathon, which raised millions of dollars over the years for kids with pediatric cancer. So I think sometimes the fun we have gets overshadowed, or the good work we do gets overshadowed by the fun that we have. But I think for the greater good, even all sororities who are not part of the, our sororities and fraternities who are not part of the MPHC, I think that, you know, we have our fun, we do what we want, but we really get focused down to the work.
And as far as when you say the bad rap, I mean, when you look, especially, you know, we have so much access to media now. You know, if you go on the various social media sites, of course, what's going to be popular are maybe party things or, you know, some of the step shows or things that may not highlight the uplift that's going on, the educational initiatives, the service. But they are well known. It's just that what you may see that's popular in media may not focus on that, but people are very well aware of the impact that our organizations have on the community at large.
All righty, we're going to continue our conversation and shining the spotlight on the Pan-Hellenic Council of Southeastern Pennsylvania. I'll be back with my guests, Chem and also Crystal, in just a moment, so keep your dial where it is. We will rejoin you momentarily.
For my next classes.
"31% of female victims stalked by an intimate partner were sexually assaulted by that partner. For more help, visit www.victimsofcrime.org.
You are now watching LaSalle TV.
Hello, everybody. We are back, and as we were coming out of the commercial break, I spat out a name, and Miss Crystal knows my girl, Donna Jones. We went to Angela Domini Academy for Girls together.
Okay.
We spent 3 years together in high school. After the third year, I left to go to college a year early. I was like, I'm out of here. But yes, I loved her. She was a great schoolmate in high school, and I've continued to watch her grow and do well over the years as an adult woman, and she has flourished in her own right, and a former president of the
she's
National, what is it?
The National Pan-Hellenic Council. I know you were referring to it as the Pan-Hellenic Council of Southeastern Pennsylvania, but it's actually the National Pan-Hellenic Council, because the Pan-Hellenic Council is actually a different organization. So when you're looking at the organization that encompasses the team of the Divine Nine, that's the National Pan-Hellenic Council.
Very good. Thank you for the correction. And Patrick Robinson, don't get me later on. Yeah, but so indeed.
My frat brother, Patrick Robinson.
Yes, very efficient, and he does his job well, whether it's for the fraternity or for Social Security Administration and all the other great things that he does. Yes. So we are celebrating our history as we continue to chat with these two wonderful representatives of the National Pan-Hellenic Council of Southeastern Pennsylvania. Miss Crystal is here, and my brother is here, and we're talking about the great work that they do. You said something is coming up soon that people can support or get involved with?
Yes. On May 6th, we will have what we call our Greek Gala. It's actually our 10th annual Greek Gala. Each year we pick a member from each of the currently 18 chapters that are in the council, and we pick a different field to honor. So this year we'll honor those who work in either the mental, physical, or spiritual health field. And it can be somebody who does that as a profession or someone who does that work within their individual chapter. It's going to be, like I said, May 6th at the Williamson in Horsham, Pennsylvania. Tickets are $60, and you can go to our website, which is mphcsepa.org for tickets.
Okay. Now, people always want to know, particularly a nonprofit, of which the National Pan-Hellenic Council is a nonprofit, right? So people always want to know when they hear something, tickets, money, well, where's the money going? You know, because, and I think it's because over the years there have been some organizations, and not necessarily talking about fraternities and sororities, but some other groups, some nonprofits, some well-known nonprofit names that had some issues with some of their funding and how it was spent. And so when we're, you know, suggesting that people support an event, it's a nonprofit effort, we use the money that's raised to fuel some of these like health fairs, job fairs, college fairs, right?
And a good part of it was going to go to our scholarship. Each year we award two scholarships, one to a male participant and one to a female participant in one of our undergraduate chapters. So we do that. The scholarship is actually called the Larry Moses Scholarship in honor of Phi Beta Sigma member Larry Moses, who worked over at the University of Pennsylvania. So we do that undergraduate scholarship in honor of him and his family.
And he was very special because?
He worked as an, I don't know his exact title, but he was in the college working with Greek fraternity and sorority Greek life.
The Office of Greek Life.
Yes, the Office of Greek Life. So he really made an impact. Yes, he made an impact on our undergraduates. As an undergraduate, I heard him speak at a conference in Pittsburgh. So he was a phenomenal person.
Okay. So now, in terms of the membership for the National Pan-Hellenic Council, is the membership all about I'm in the fraternity or the sorority, and then if you want to roll up your sleeves and work additionally on top of the work that you're doing with your frat or your sorority, that's when you join, or how does that work?
In this area in southeastern Pennsylvania, we have 18 active chapters at this current time. Each chapter gets 5 delegates. So those 5 delegates will meet with us once a month, and that's when we do all of our committee work, tasks for fundraisers, community service, things of that nature. But even though each chapter has those 5 delegates, we encourage as many people as possible to participate in our activities.
Yes, as long as you're a member in good financial standing within any of the organizations that are part of the National Pan-Hellenic Council of Southeastern Pennsylvania, you're part of the MPHC SEPA team. So even though we do have our 5 reps, our lead rep, and then our 4 other reps, any of the other members, financial members of the organization are eligible to participate on the committees that MPHC has. And we need them. You know, basically, we all do great work within our own organizations. And as you said, rolling up your sleeves, all of us do a lot of great work within the community. But together, we can make a powerful force. So, you know, and when you look at it, it is volunteer.
Yes.
So you're talking about professional people who have, you know, jobs in their daily lives, and they're also working for their own organizations, families, and, you know, coming to work with MPHC, they see the greater good in terms of how much power we have when we link our arms together and really try to drive change.
There's strength in numbers, absolutely. So I'm getting it now. I'm finally getting it. This individual, sororities, fraternities, but then coming together to do stuff, you can't help but make for positive change and difference in our communities. That's to be applauded. Yeah. So now, before we run out of time, I want to go back to just the whole piece of getting our young people comfortable with college. I know that most colleges and universities don't even allow students in their freshman year to pledge anything.
Exactly.
You need to be focusing on trying to get those grades and get grounded in being a college level student. But by the time you're in your sophomore year, that's pretty much when folks are starting to make decisions, at least with the African American frats and sororities that I'm familiar with, that people can begin to look around and see what they might want to do, or which group they might want to join.
I'll address the undergraduate membership if you want to take graduate afterwards.
Okay.
But as undergrad, as you said, usually it's your sophomore year you begin to look. What a lot of schools do is host an event called Meet the Greeks. So it's a chance for you to come out and learn about each individual organization. Usually there's display tables, you sign up to learn more. But we really encourage our young people to pick the organization who you feel is right for you. You are going to be a lifetime member. So it's not something that one day I want to be at SG Row and then the next day I'll be at AKA. This is a lifetime commitment. So we ask that you really take the time, do your research, learn about learn about the organization, talk to members of the organization, and really decide which fit is best for you.
Yes, yes. So now for parents, again, parents who did not have that opportunity to go to college or chose not to go to college, and the only thing they've heard is they haze, they beat people. Oh, my daughter's not going to join, my son's not going to join. They brand you. What do you say to parents who are not familiar with the whole Greek scene to understand?
That was my parents.
Okay.
They were very nervous, even though at the time my sister's best friend was a soror of mine, and they saw she was okay. They still had their hesitancy, and so I was a little nervous, so I didn't even tell them until after I had become a member. But my mom, when she came to pick me up from the end of the school year, because I was a member in the spring, she saw all the positiveness of my line sisters, my other chapter members. At my school, we have a suite, so she saw the suite and how nice that was. And so she started to open up more. And as I got more involved with the sorority and with MPHC, they're totally comfortable and supportive of it now. And they feel like this was a good decision for me.
But even on the more serious note, for a young person who is enrolled in college and they make a choice and they decide to go with this or that fraternity or sorority, and they happen to encounter something that might be a little negative, maybe one or two of the brothers or sisters in charge, it gets a little beside themselves and they want to act like they're thinking about hazing someone. What does a young person do? What should they do? If they think there's possible hazing or they're afraid they might be hazed, what should they do?
Well, if there is an active, because you also want to make sure that on the college campus that any activity is being sanctioned by the national organization. That's number one. Number two, if it is an official process, the process also will be overseen and guided by an advisor who is a college graduate who advises the chapter where they are. So they are free to seek out that person as well and let them know. But there are various ways that you can try to report that. And because hazing is not tolerated by any of our organizations.
I would and the only reason I bring it up is because I would hate to see any of us, the frats or sororities, lose good kids who have the mindset that we have to give back in the community, do public service projects, and uplift other people. And you don't want to lose good people like that because of something that shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Exactly.
So you gave some good advice on that, and I thank you for that. And as we begin to wind it down, one more pitch from each of you on your frat the sorority, and how they could support the Pan-Hellenic Council, not only with your May event, but anything else that's coming up. How can people be plugged in?
You can continue to go to our website. Like I said, it's mpHCsepa.org. It lists all of our activities as a council and then individual activities as well. Okay. There's a calendar section, there's an About Us section, there's a way to contact us. We also use social media. We have a page that can be liked, MPHC of Southeastern Pennsylvania, and that's where we really get our message out, especially to younger folk. So
Excellent.
And I guess the thing that I would say is, definitely, we work with young people that, would like to be college educated. But at the same time, we're also helping the greater community at large. MPHC SEPA has worked with Chosen 300, has done a Greek event with Bright Hope Baptist Church. We've also partnered with the Mayoral Candidates Forum. So we do all kinds of community service. So just as Crystal said, if you're an organization that is interested in having MPHC SEPA, work with you, please contact us.
Sounds good to me. I want to thank you both for coming so much. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And everybody, we want you to keep on watching this channel, channel 56 for Comcast and channel 36 for Verizon Fios, and look forward to all the great programs that come out of LaSalle TV. I am your host, Thera Martin Milling, for this edition of News You Can Use, and you can check me out on 900 AM WURD Mondays through Fridays, 6 to 7 a.m. We got a good talk show going on early in the morning, so if you're an early bird, you'd like to rise on up, get up early and give me a call at 215-634-8065 and tell us how you're feeling today. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for checking us out again. And remember, life is fragile. Handle it with prayer.